Applications of Coriolis force. Myself, Srinivas S., Assistant Professor, Government Pastoral College, Chikbalapur. Program and course BSc 5th semester, Paper 501, Atmospheric Dynamics, Unit 3, Atmospheric Physics, Session 28, University, Bangalore North University. Learning objects. Fundamental characteristics of Coriolis force, applications of Coriolis force, trade winds and cyclones. Lastly, erosion of river banks. Learning outcomes. Students can understanding about nature of Coriolis force, formation of trade winds, formation of cyclones in role of Coriolis force. Fundamental characteristics of Coriolis force. First, we understand what is a Coriolis force. When a object is moving over the rotating frame, the object bends or deviated its path. This effect is known as the Coriolis effect. The Coriolis force is a pseudo force, so we can't easily perceive. So it is a pseudo force, or when a large amount of matter moving over the rotating frame which experience a Coriolis force. The Coriolis force produces an apparent deflection in all moving objects regardless of their direction of motion. The deflection is to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. The Coriolis force 0 at the equator and increases with latitude, reaching maximum level at the poles. So Coriolis force which produces the deflection to the right in the northern hemisphere and left in the southern hemisphere. Coriolis force is 0 at equator, maximum at the poles. North pole, the Coriolis force is maximum. The Coriolis force is increases with increase of latitude. The Coriolis force acting on any moving object increases with the object speed. So here the magnitude of Coriolis force is increases as increasing object speed like a linear velocity and rotating frame speed means omega angular velocity. The Coriolis force changes only the direction of moving objects, never its speed. Means Coriolis force only can change the direction, not the speed, only which changes the direction of the body, which cannot changes the speed of a body. So now understand how Coriolis force is affected or acting on the moving body. When body is moving, this is nothing but earth globe. This is the north pole or northern hemisphere. This portion is nothing but northern hemisphere. This portion is nothing but southern hemisphere. This is nothing but central. This is a doldrum, equator region. At equator region, Coriolis force is 0, which is acting in this direction only. So when a object is moving from south to north at this region, so which bends like that only, deflection to the right. This is the direction of Coriolis force. When the object is moved from north to south at this region, the Coriolis force acting on the object in this direction. So like that here the object is moving from south to north. The Coriolis force is acting in this direction, means the object is deviated like that only. So in southern hemisphere the Coriolis force is acting in this direction only when the particle or object is moving from north to south direction of southern hemisphere, deflection to the left. Next, trade winds. Trade winds is one of the application of the Coriolis force. Trade winds can be defined as the wind that blows towards to the equator from the northeast in the northern hemisphere or from the southeast in the southern hemisphere. These are also known as tropical easterlies, are known for their consistency in force and direction. These winds are formed when the hot air rises and hits the equator where it is pulled towards to the poles, making them shield. These winds are used by the sailors. Christopher Columbus discovered America with the help of a trade winds. These winds are mainly caused due to the Coriolis effect and Farrell's law. They blow as northeastern trades in northern hemisphere as southeastern trades in southern hemisphere. Between about 30° north and 30° south of the equator in a region called the Earth's latitudes, the Earth's rotation causes hair to slant towards to the equator in a southwesterly direction in the northern hemisphere and in a northwesterly direction in the southern hemisphere. This is called the Coriolis effect. The Coriolis effect in the combination with an area of high pressure causes the prevailing winds, the trade winds, to move from east to west on both sides of the equator across this 60-degree belt. So now let us understanding how trade winds are happening. So this is a earth globe. This region is nothing but low pressure region, so called polar front. Next region is a high pressure region. This is nothing but a Earth's latitude. So here the wind is blow from high pressure region to low pressure region. So these we called a prevailing wind. These prevailing winds turn towards to the west direction by the Coriolis force. These direction of winds we call trade winds. Similarly, here also the wind is blow from high pressure region to low pressure region. These kind of winds called westerlies. Due to the Coriolis effect, these kind of winds are bend towards to the west direction due to the Coriolis force. These kind of winds we called a trade winds. So what are the wind is blow towards to the west direction in these two bands we call a trade wind band. This is a trade wind band. This is also trade wind band. So where these two kind of winds are meet at center or along the equator is known as or midway of the globe we called intertropical convergence zone or doldrum. So Hadley cells. What are the Hadley cells? At equator, wind is warm, which get rises. Wind or air is warm and rises upward, and which are moving towards to the cold region. There is a form a shell. This kind of shell is called Hadley cell. As the wind blows to above 5° north and south of the equator, both air and ocean currents comes to a halt in a band of hot dry air. This 10-degree belt around Earth's midsection is called intertropical convergence zone or more commonly known as the doldrum. So what is the 10-degree belt? This 10-degree latitude belt is called a intertropical convergence zone or doldrum. Intense solar heat in the doldrums warms and moistens the trade winds, thrusting air upwards into the atmosphere like a hot air balloon. As the air rises, it cools, causing persistent bands of showers and storms in the tropics and rainforest. The rising air masses move towards to the poles, then sink back towards to Earth's surface near the Earth's latitude. The sinking air triggers the calm trade winds and little precipitation, completing the cycle. So these are the latitudes. 0-degree latitude, hot equator. As increasing the latitude, Coriolis force is also increases here. So this is nothing but, this is a region that is nothing but high pressure region. The straight line path, red arrows indicates the Coriolis indicated deflections. Cyclones. Cyclones are huge revolving storms caused by wind blowing around a central area of low atmospheric pressure. Cyclones are generally cyclic, means spiral snakes. Cyclones are generally occur in three types. Tropical cyclones, the speed of wind blow less than 74 miles per kilometer, are called tropical cyclones. The speed gets intense more than 75 to 120 miles per kilometer, are called severe cyclones. The speed of cyclone more than 120 miles per kilometer are termed as super cyclones. Cyclones are initiated as cyclones, hurricanes, and tufans. One event but different names depending on location. In Atlantic and Northeast Pacific, it is called hurricanes. In Northwest Pacific, it is termed as tufans. In South Pacific and Indian Oceans, is called cyclones. Willy Willy term used in Australia. We can also based on hemispheres. At northern hemisphere we called hurricanes. At southern hemisphere we called cyclones. Cyclones are always usually rotated in clockwise direction, and hurricanes are in always anti-clockwise direction. Formation of a cyclones. Tropical cyclones forms only over warm ocean waters near the equator. To form a cyclone, warm, moist air over the ocean rises upward from near the surface. As this air moves up and away from the ocean surface, it leaves is less air near the surface. So basically, as warm air rises, it causes an area of lower air pressure below. Air from surrounding area, as with higher air pressure, pushes into the low pressure area. Then this new cool air becomes warm and moist and rises too, and this cycle continues. As the warm moist air rises and cools, the water in air forms clouds. The whole system of a clouds and wind spins and grows due to the Coriolis force, and fed by the oceans, heat and water evaporating from the ocean surface. As the storm system rotates faster and faster and high forms in the center, it is very calm and clear in the high with very low air pressure. Higher pressure air from above flow down into the high. When the winds in the rotating storm reach 63 km per hour, the storm is called a tropical storm. And when wind speed reach 119 km per hour, the storm is officially tropical cyclone or hurricane. So the video is the formation of these cyclones. How the cyclones are formed, discussed in this video. At the low atmospheric pressure over the sea, the warm air is rises and cold air is coming down. The warm air becomes more warm and rises up. There is a formation of the gaps, so that the cold air rushes from higher pressure region to this region with high velocity and get circulated due to the Coriolis force, so that the more air is rushed from higher pressure region to lower pressure this region and start to circulate it and get a spiral structure. So this is a tropical cyclone. The range of this tropical cyclone diameter range 100 km to 2000 km. So that the large amount of air rushes at this spot become a huge and strong stormy cyclone. More amount of air joined to this cyclone is form a stormy cyclone or cloudy cyclone, which is lasts 3 to 7 days and with high speed. The distance how far away from the land and whose size is a more, and the cyclone is a fed up and die out when which is crosses to land. We remember the formula of a Coriolis force. F equals to minus 2m omega vector cross of vector v. Omega vector angular velocity, vector v velocity of a water. The direction of velocity is opposite to each other for rivers flowing towards to the south and north pole. Hence, water in river flowing in any direction will experience a Coriolis force causing a deviation towards to the right of the flow direction in northern hemisphere and deviation towards to the left of the flow direction in southern hemisphere. Because of this effect, the right of the band is eroded in the northern hemisphere and left of the band in southern hemisphere. Summary. In this session, the students can learn applications of the Coriolis force like trade winds, cyclones, erosion of a rivers. Reference of the books. Next MCQ session. Question number 1. Hurricanes are generally options: A. Active over land, active over the sea, traveling in families, dust storms. So, on the surface of land, the cyclones are not active, which are die-off. The first option is wrong. Second, active over the sea. So, the cyclones are generated on the surface of the sea. Is it no? But not active over the sea, but which is developed on over the sea, traveling in families. So hurricanes are which are traveling in families. This is the correct one. Answer is traveling in families. The tropical cyclone of the Bay of Bengal are called. So cyclones used or mentioned, termed, are called in different area in different names. In Bay of Bengal they are called Tupon. Answer is A. Tupon. Next MCQ 3. The cyclones represent a state of atmosphere in which, so options are provided here for what is the definition of cyclones or how cyclones are formed. So the here is a move from high pressure region to low pressure. So usually low pressure is formed over the surface of the depth sea. The here is a rushes from high pressure region to low pressure region due to the Coriolis force which get a spiral. So that is the definition. So here option number A, low pressure is in the center and high pressure is surrounded. This is the correct one. Our choice is A, low pressure is in the center and high pressure is around. In fourth question, in both hemispheres, the moment of winds about 30 degree on either side are the, so both hemisphere, the movement of winds 30 degree on either side, usually we call trade winds. Yeah, answer is option number B, trade winds. The area where trade winds of both hemispheres meet is called, already explained, the where the both belts of the trade winds meet across the doldrums. Answer is doldrums. So thank you.